sources in that particular scene. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna add a source, of course. Wait, that rhymed. Oh man, I keep getting cornier and cornier. Now I have a number of different ways I can do a display.
Hello. Hello everyone. Can you see this screen? Okay, please type on chat window if you're if you can hear me and you're able to see the screen. Okay. Okay. I have given a link of a GitHub repo. The project which I am going to explain in this video. So just download those project files. Okay, guys, if you can see the screen, what we can do is I can drop the link to the your WhatsApp group. Okay, after the session is over. Okay, so right now we will start with the session. Okay, there are only 13 people. I don't know what happened with other people's. So let's start because we don't have that much amount of a time. Okay, so first thing is, okay, I will give you the link in WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay. So what we have done over here is we have imported couple of things: pandas, matplotlib, uh, random forest, multinomial naive bias. Okay, then job lib for storing the our learned machine learning algorithms, that is our weights. Then training testing split, then count vectorization and TF-IDF. Okay, so initially in the I, do, I don't exactly remember in which session I have given you this Twitter data set. So what I'm going to show you in this video is particularly how you can perform sentiment analysis and how you can train the algorithm and then connect it with a Flask. Okay, so first of all I have read this file and stored this data into dataset. Okay, and then uh, just printed out the top 5 rows. Okay, guys, just give me a thumbs up if you are seeing the screen and if you can hear me. Okay, so I'm just going to continue because I'm not getting any responses, so I'm just assuming that you guys can hear me. Okay, so after printing out the top 5 columns, or sorry, rows, uh, now in this dataset what we required is a airline sentiment and this text column. Okay, so rest of the columns are not required in this process. So to delete these columns, what we can first do is we can print out the column names. Okay, because to delete these columns we need their column names. So dataset.columns will give us the all the column names present inside our dataset. Okay, afterwards what we can do is um, we can drop these columns using drop function. Okay, so dataset dot drop, and inside a list we can pass all the columns which we don't want. Okay, and then mention axis equals to 1, because for the in this function axis 1 represents columns, and in place true means uh, when we when this function will run, it will return the remaining 2 columns, that is airline sentiments and text, into the same variable, that is in our dataset variable. Okay, so afterwards dataset.head, if you run dataset.head, then you can see in the same variable we are getting airline sentiment and text. Okay, so first of all what we will do is we will replace this neutral, positive and negative um, string values from the airline sentiment and replace it with 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what I've done is I have checked what kind of a values we have in our airline sentiment, because airline sentiment is our y value and text is our x values. So to check the categories, what I've done is dataset airlines dot unique, and inside it we are getting 3 categorical values, that is neutral, positive and negative. Okay, and using this code, we can replace negative with a 0, neutral with a 1, and positive with a 2. Okay? Okay. So as soon as we run this code, what we are getting is, if you run again dataset.head, the all the values present inside the airline sentiment has been replaced with 0, 1, 0, 1 or 2. Okay. Okay. Now we will look for whether we have any null values present inside our dataset or not. So for that, what you can do is dataset dot is null dot sum. So what it will do is it will look into every column, and it will check whether there is any empty row present inside that particular column. Okay. So as you can see, there is no empty row present inside airline sentiment, but there is a one row missing inside a text. So what we need to do is we need to drop that row. So to drop that row, what we can do is dataset dot drop access 0 means we wanted to delete that row, and in place true again means we will return that uh, new data inside a dataset variable. Okay. Okay. Then now we have a clean data set which has all the y values are converted into 0, 1, 2, 3. We don't have any missing values inside our data set. Now we can transfer these values inside a x and y. So to transfer these values inside x and y, what we can do is x equal to data set and pass on the column name. Okay, y equals to data set and then pass on the airline sentiment, that is our y column. Okay, so now we have converted these values into x and y. Okay, so after converting these values into x and y, we can split that data set into training and testing. So test size is 2.20% and random state is 4 just to randomize the values. And if you print xtrain.head, we are getting top 5 values. Now this in place of count vectorization, right now I'm using tf-idf. So to perform tf-idf, um, we just calling the tf vectors. Okay, minimum difference is 1, stop word English, that means it will remove the unnecessary words present inside our data set, and n-gram range is from 1 to 3. So after converting, so to convert the extrain values into tf-idf, just call the object name dot fit transformation and store that information to extrain.cv. So this process we have done previously also, so I'm not going to cover it in depth. Okay, so just we are performing the transformation for the text values. Now after transforming these xtrain values and ytrain values, what we can do is we can pass these values inside our multinomial naive Bayes. Okay, so Kunal, actually I don't get the time. Okay, just then, okay, it's Kunal saying is his project. Okay, so I didn't get any other data set and I didn't have a time to search for another data set. So that is why I use this data set. Okay, so after creating the particular object of multinomial naive Bayes, I have fitted that extend CV and ytrend CV. After that, I have just checked for what is the accuracy I'm getting. So I'm getting a 72% on training dataset and 65% on a testing dataset. This is you have done multiple times. Now afterwards, what you need to do is this is the last step is to save these values. Okay, so you need to save the classifier and tf-idf both the values. Okay, to store it, what we need to do is job.dump, pass on the object name, that is your whatever, if you have done mnb, then pass on the mnb over here. Okay, so I have my object name is classifier, so I'm passing a classifier over here comma any file name. So I have used nb as a file name. um, then job.dump again for tf-idf, because when you wanted to predict the values, you at that point of time also you will take a text as an input from the user. So you need to convert, that will be your x test value. So you need to transform that x test values into a tf-idf format. So you require this tf-idf object. Okay. Okay, and again you can give anything. I have given the same name to that particular file. So after storing this value, after storing these files, as you can see, I have actually moved this file into models folder. So these are two files which will be required while testing. Okay, while we use for a Flask. Okay, so the most important for everyone is to do these two things. Okay, it is very important to perform this dump. So after performing this dump, what you can do is, I'm going to show you right now directly app.py file. Okay, so basic import statement I have done over here. Then I have created the app object for the Flask, then created a default route. Okay, so default route in my home.html I have the form. Okay, so let me show you the form. So first of all I will open the home.html. As you can see, it is a very pretty small form we have. I'm just taking one input box which will give us the tweets. The user will input his value inside that. Okay, so Gaurav, job lib is a is a function inside sklearn which will help you to store the train model. Okay, so values like, for example, if you are performing linear regression, then you need to store m and b values. So job lib will help you to store that values inside a particular file, so you can use that file afterwards or inside a Flask also. Okay, so I guess you got your answer. Okay, so I was talking about forms. Okay, so inside this form your normal okay, the import statement is very simple. Okay, just I will show you. So this is your import statement. So I'm going to give you this code. So just download it from GitHub. Okay, so it is complete project using Flask and minimum code. Okay, okay, okay. So I'm getting back onto HTML. So you need to put your input box. Okay, and just inside this action you need to pass a function onto which you will pass your this input text for the prediction. So I am using predict function. So let's look into the predict function. So this is my predict function. Okay, so this is URL for the predict function, and this is our predict function. So first line of your predict function will be to load that train model and your TF-IDF. If you are using um, so Madhav, actually it is not necessary to use job leaps, but you need to store those train model. So either you can use NumPy array to save those values, or as job lib. It's your choice what you need to use it for that. Okay, but you need to save using something, because you're not going to train your model every time when user send you something input, send some input. Okay, so you need to store this value. Okay, on a runtime you're just going to perform prediction, you're not going to train for every user input. Okay, so these two lines are very important. Okay, what it represents, just let me, okay. So as you, so first line what we are saying is job dot load Okay, so I've moved my NB file into models. So models slash NB. So what is going to happen is in CLF, my train classifier object will be going to load. Okay, and using again job.load, I'm going to load my count vectorize sorry tf-idf object, which is also train. Okay, so both of these values store inside these two variables. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to check whether the method is post or not. Okay, if it is post, then we need to retrieve tweets from that form. So because my name is over here is tweet, so that is why I'm passing tweet variable over here um, as a key. Okay, and inside this variable I'm getting that tweet. Okay, so okay. So why I'm passing my tweet inside a particular list and then that value inside a data, because to perform any kind of a prediction you need to pass your data as a array. Okay, so that is why I'm putting my tweets into a square brackets and passing it into a data variable. So after passing this value inside a data variable, first of all, what we used to do is we used to transform those values, right? If you remember in a spam filtering case, we used to transform those values. So now we have the loaded tf-idf, so I can directly tf-idf dot transform and pass my data which I have taken from the user and stored into a data variable again. Okay, so now we have converted the text values into tf-idf format. Now directly we can pass these values to a predict function. Okay, so now our trained algorithm is again into a clf variable, so we can directly use clf dot predict and pass our tf-idf converted data, and we will get the output like prediction, whether it will be a 0, 1 or 2, because in this case we have three categories only. So now we need to pass this prediction variable into our HTML. So for that, what you need to do is return render template. Okay, render template, pass on first of all your HTML page, then comma equals to this prediction, this variable. This first variable will be passed on to the result. You can access these values inside a result, and this prediction means this value, this variable. Okay, so okay, let me change the values, my variable, and let me do it for this also. So you will you guys will get a better idea of it. So in Flask you need to perform this step to because to run this file you need to create this main function. Okay, so quickly I will show you the result.html and then I will run this code. So if you have any doubt you can ask. Okay, so simple, I've created a simple HTML form. So sorry, not a form, HTML page. So what we are doing is we are passing a condition. If the prediction equals to 0, print negative. If prediction equals to 1, print positive, sorry, neutral. And if prediction equals to 2, then print positive. Okay, so simple if else condition we have mentioned. We are talk about this kind of a syntax in a class. So let me show you guys quickly how you can perform a prediction. So right now let me check whether I'm running. Okay, so my server is Flask server is already running. So let's go okay into. Okay, so what I can do is I can pick up a few lines from the training data set as a testing. So what we okay, so I guess I should. Okay, so I'm taking this value, and as you can see guys, this is a positive sentiment. Okay, So let's copy this value and put it into our text box. So if I submit it, okay, it is giving a negative. Okay, so the reason might be because our accuracy is not that good, so that is why it is giving us a wrong prediction. So what we can do is let's pass on some another value. Okay, let's pass this really missed. Okay, okay, let me check the code. Okay, let's what we can do is let's okay. So the accuracy is not good. That is why we are not getting a proper answer. But I hope you guys have got clear idea about it. How you can implement these things into a Flask. And okay, so in this code, I have not written a training part because the training part we have done inside our Jupyter notebook, and just we are calling a predict function. So if you guys have any doubts, just ask. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to end this session. I'm going to just paste this particular code link into our groups. Okay, so you guys will be having the, like, I've provided the links inside both the groups. So the link is now working, so if you have any doubts, just ask. Okay. Okay, if you have any like particular queries, drop me a mail after 7th, or around 8. I will start responding your to your mails. Okay. So I guess you don't have any questions, so I'm going to end this session over here. If you have particular doubts, just give me a call after 7:30. Okay. So bye guys.